Man, it's just surreal.
The Silver Dasher.
Morning. It's Sunday. It's actually my first spark of the new year. I did get an offer that popped up, but I declined it. And it was $18 for 18 miles. That's not, nah. Right now they're doing an incentive program for Pell City. It seems like there's always an incentive program for Pell City. Gee, I wonder why. But I'm going to try to do as many shopping here this morning, and then eventually I'm going to switch over to Anniston. There I'll do all the orders. But now I got a $17 order for 1 mile, but it's got 35 items, but quantity of 76, so a lot of it is duplicate. But they said it takes the whole thing will take 45 minutes, delivery and everything. So I took that because the shopping would have been the same amount, same time as that first one, but this one, just $1 less. But I'm only going 1 mile, and I know the address. It's one of my regular DoorDash neighborhoods, so it's real close, right across the interstate. So anyhow, well, hopefully the new year will start off good. I hope your new year is starting off really good. So let's head to Walmart. Let's do the shopping. Let's get this first order in. So hopefully we get a lot more orders before we I switch over to Anniston. So see you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that order, and it was just like right across the interstate. The shopping wasn't, even though it was like 76 items, it was 35 items with 76 quantity. All of it was bulk, and most of the quantity was Kool-Aid packets, and some frozen chicken stuff. That was most of the quantity, but everything was just big bulk. It looks like they're hoarding for an army for breakfast. It was all breakfast, mainly breakfast stuff and snacks. It was like for a whole army. They have a bunch of kids, coming over or a sleepover or something. Well, that's a Sunday. It's already school has started. So anyway, they may be hoarding up for the beginning of the new going back to school. So anyhow. Well, just as I finished dropping that off, I got another order, express shopping. Let's see, what is the, I thought I took the picture. Hold on just a second. Bixby. Bixby. Take screenshot. You have to use Bixby for screenshot for Android, Samsung. It's $23.40 for 15 miles, 46 minutes, but it's only like 20 items. So, and it's part of that incentive. Based on incentive, I may stay here a little longer than normal. Depends if I'm getting the orders. By the time I'm done with this, I don't get any more orders, and around lunchtime I'll go. So we'll see. We'll see how it happens. So anyway, back to Walmart I go, and then some more shopping. So see you in a little bit. Well, it's a little after 10 o'clock. Didn't really, no other offers popped up. I even though the zone shows that the Walmart kept occasionally going red, but nothing popped up. No shopping, no pickups, no nothing. So I am now, I'm not gonna worry about those incentives. Even though I got two, I'm not gonna wait around for that. So I am on my way to Anniston. I'm gonna stop by my parents' house, make sure everything's working okay, looking okay, and then we'll hang around there and see what happens. So, on to Anniston we go. See you in a little bit. Well, I made it to Anniston, and I've had to reject 2 offers all the way to Oxford because they only want to pay me $10 for an 18-mile trip. And I said, nope. But finally I got it now. I'm in the Anniston Walmart right now. I got a shopping. It's for shopping for 2 people, which is $21.66 for just over 6 miles. So that's what I'm going to do. Do a little shopping. So here I am. I'm going to do shopping and then on to the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I delivered those shopping orders. The first one is my very first Anniston repeat customer. I was there last week. The second was a lady at assisted living that's on the old Fort McClellan base, and I'm having a real bad, not bad, but real nostalgic throwback. I know this area very well. The building that I just left, where is now assisted living, used to be a bivouac apartment building for officers or NCOs to come for TDY. And this is a training center right here. It's now a Jacksonville State building. And over here is the parade ground that my dad had his retirement ceremony at. God, that was so many years ago. Swimming pool over here. Been to that swimming pool many times. What they call the aquatic center. And I'll probably try to show you on the video, but this here on the left over here, this is the parade ground when my dad had his retirement ceremony. Many, many, many years ago. But they turned it now into a sports complex where soccer fields are here. This used to be a huge parade field for ceremonies and stuff like that. And over here on the right, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a church. That's the church me and Mom would go to go midnight mass. Man, wow, that's a long, long time ago. And this is everything is now taken over by the city. I found it strange that this road that I'm on, I've been on this road many times as a kid with Dad. This is what they call Summerall Gate Road, Summerall Gate. And now off to the side here are private homes. People have bought the property and built very nice homes. But there was, this was one of the main gates to go into this was the back side. The main gate is further on up. Gosh darn. It's surreal. I guess that's what it is. It's surreal to see. When you're an Army brat, you grew up on Army bases. You knew where everything and all the facilities on there you had access to because you were dependent, along with soldiers. Like the, swimming pool, PX, commissary, any other rec areas. You had access to also. But now it's gone. It's like it never existed. But I see when I drove in there, you can see glimpses of it. So, anyhow, no more doom and gloom. So, to finish that shopping, and then I had rejected before that a couple offers to go all the way to Oxford for like $10, but it was 18 miles. So I said, nah, I'm not doing that. So I'm heading back to the Anniston Walmart and wait to see if I get another offer. So let's see what happens. See you in a little bit. Well, I got back from that shopping. I was sitting in the Walmart parking lot about 5-10 minutes, and I got another shopping. It's $17.21 for 8.5 miles, one person. Not that many items. Let's see how many items. 13 items. So not too bad. So let's get this shopping on the way and on to the customer. See you later. Well, just dropped off that small shopping order. You're gonna be surprised, you know, this is an old part of the city I've never been to, and long driveway, and and it turns out to be a private driveway. It's a little rough, but you get up to the top of the hill, and there's a very nice house there. You know, it's old, it's been around for a while, but looks like I have a main house and another house in the back and a big garage in the back. The type, you know, has the walls, the entire house is covered in the small stones, but very nice. So yeah, but you can tell this was a older neighborhood long time ago, and yeah, and of course, you know, the last order, you know, went to the former officer barracks that's now assisted living. In fact, I had to ring the apartment number to let me in, and and I was very accommodating. I brought the food into the apartment. I put the groceries into the refrigerator for her, and so, you know, that's elderly. You know, it's what you do. So yeah, it was that was again a surreal moment for me, being in the old fort where I hung around as a kid. But yeah, it's strange indeed. So man, now I'm gonna head back. Now all three Walmarts and Sam's Club are red hot. So I'm going to take the back way. Actually, I'm going back to the road that I take when I come here to head back to the Anniston Walmart. So hopefully I get another order here real soon. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's gotten warm. It's now 60 degrees, which is fine. It's going to be warm this week, then it's going to get cold again starting next week. So warm, cold. It's that time of year. And then usually what happens, a lot of times, March comes around, just think, you know, the spring comes, then boom, we get hit with a last minute cold front, or we've had blizzards. In fact, the last two blizzards we've had happened in March. March of '93, and then the last one, I can't remember when that was. This one, whatchamacallit, that zombie TV show was on TV, was very popular, and it made it look like this was, our highways around here were dead, just like that show. So anyway, we're going to head back to Anniston Walmart and see if we can pick up another order. So, see you a little bit. Well, it's been a good about 15-20 minutes, and I initially took an order. I was kind of leery about it because it was like $29. It was 27 miles, and it's been a while since I picked up an order. But then I looked at it was a pickup with 3 drop-offs, and then one of the drop-offs was over in Heflin. Heflin's over by the Georgia state line. So I did something I'd never done. I canceled that, and my reason is the pay was not worth the effort. You know, if I'm going all the way the Georgia state line. I need more money than that. So I waited for a few more minutes, and I got one that's $23. Let me see, $23 for 9 miles. So I took that one, and I can't start it yet. I'm 3 minutes early. So anyway, so I'm taking that. So this is the first pickup of the day from Anniston. Everything I've done today has been shopping. So let's see if their record proves worthy, because I've always gotten the pickup here like within 15-20 minutes of me arriving. So let's see what happens. See you in a little bit. Well, I just finished dropping off that pickup. There was 3 customers. Not that many, the biggest one took up 2 of my tubs. Didn't take long. I'm out here in Alexandria, which is north of Anniston. It's just north of where my parents' house is. So anyway, that was not too bad. It's just about 2:38, so I'm gonna head back to Walmart, see if we can get another order. So on to Walmart we go. See you in a little bit. I'm on my way to the customer, but I had mentioned before that the Fort had a main gate. Well, I'm approaching the main gate. There's a Bethel gate. In fact, they still have the military police guard post here still. Have come through this so many times. Got a nice little house and little lamp in there, but yep. Drove through here, and this is the golf course. I don't know if it's an 18 hole or a 9 hole. Yeah, but of course I never played on it, but seen many of golfers there. But this road right here goes straight into the center of the fort. Yeah, there's the golf course. Man, it's just surreal. Those are apartments up there, but those were barracks at one time. I think it's an 18-hole golf course. But yeah, now they got stuff. All this is for sale. But I've been down this road many times. There used to be a library up here. Yeah, that's a typical housing right here on the right. The typical housing bungalows, for NCOs. And they used to do mine. This was a motor pool at one time. This is the fancier houses. This is where officers had housing. It was all Spanish style, very similar to. And this is the central area. This used to be the firehouse or fire station. And there's more housing that was military, but this is right here was the old fire station. That was the library that I spent many times in it. Um, gosh. Well, it's still there, but it's not a library anymore. And kids' playgrounds out here. But this was, I'm heading towards chemical school country. And that, oh my God, is the commissary in the PX. Right over there. And this right here used to be the K9 training unit. In fact, they still got the K9 pins there. You know, military police, you know, for K9s. Yep, there's the commissary and PX, right straight down that way. The building's still there. Wow, can't believe it's still. It's just surreal. It's just surreal. Now all this stuff is for sale. Some of the buildings are taken over by businesses. This is just so surreal. I can't believe it. All these places that I used to know were behind the PX and the commissary. There's the loading docks. And over there is more the barracks. That's famous because they were going to renovate that for refugees. And this was I think this was a gun club, or maybe it looks like it was a restaurant at one time, or I think it was a restaurant during the time. It could have been like an officers club, I think. But boy, it's making me go through the fort. Wow. And this is the part. Now this part back here, this is all forest. And this is where they did training. You know, there was not much out here because most of the fort, you know, was woods. But they had some barracks, you know, different areas. But wow. Just super surreal. Yeah, this is trails, stuff like that. So anyway, sorry for the going down memory lane. If you're an Army brat, you know what I'm talking about. You know, especially if you're went to school. I went to the local school. Now, normally, like when you live over overseas in Germany, like I graduated high school in Germany, you went to the military school. You know, usually is the school that's in the middle of family housing, or sometimes you got depending on what grade and what area you got bused. You know, because a lot of kids we had outskirts, you know, of barracks, families, but they always had elementary schools in the outskirt concerns, but usually the high school the kids were bused in, but I was lucky. I didn't have to bus. I actually rode a bike. But wow, this is that's surreal. I spent many a time in that commissary in that PX. See, now we're in a wildlife refuge. Boy, it's making me go along. I guess this is the shortcut. So, anyway, heading to the customer. See you in a little bit. Whew, finally dropped off that shopping order. I'll tell you what, it took me to someplace I'd never been before. And I didn't think this was still an area part of Anniston. But I think what has happened, since Anniston now owns what was Fort McClellan, this is just on the other side, the far side of where I entered on the Pell Gate is on the west side. So it made me go through the old fort, forest that was part of the fort, and come out on the east end. And from there, it was just a few miles to the house. So that's probably now all considered part of Anniston. So I'm going to go back to Anniston, back through the fort, what was the fort, back over the mountains. So yeah, it's never been. Normally, this is I'm out in White Plains. I remember we used to play White Plains in high school. It's White Plains is near Jacksonville, which is the city where I graduated college from, Jacksonville State University. I'm still in the county. No, because I drove by several houses that have school buses that said McClellan County on it. So yeah, it looks like I'm navigating back to Walmart. I'm going to try to see if I can get one more order. If not, it is getting late. We'll see. We'll see what it's going to be like when I get back. But yeah, this is I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of cattle farms out here, or just a lot of or farms for wheat, hay and stuff like that. It's a lot of them. But I'm gonna be honest. I've never been out in this part of the county. I may have been out here as a high school kid in the marching band when we played White Plains and Command. In fact, here's the White Plains High School right here. So I may have been out here as a kid marching in the band. So yeah, small community, like anything. It too was hurt when the fort was closed. All the small communities out here. So, whew. Well, let's see if I can make my way back in time to pick up another order. If not, then I'll get back on and tell them I'm going to end it and head on home. But let's see what happens. Hopefully I can get another order before we end the day. See you in a little bit. Yeah, the directions to go back to Walmart is making me go back through what was Fort McClellan, and I'm going over the mountain. I didn't realize this is all new to me. I didn't realize Fort McClellan at that time covered this area, but this is we're about to go up a mountain, which is Anniston is near Anniston is the highest point in Alabama. It's called Cheaha, and this mountain is part of the Appalachian mountain chain. The very first major mountain range that our pioneers had to conquer. And I'm going on a road called Baines Gap. So I'm going through a gap in the mountain. and his name Baines, so probably the guy who discovered the gap. So yeah, we're starting to get some elevation here. You can see up ahead, mountain, living in Germany, this is a hill. I've been through mountains before. I've been in the Alps. That's a mountain. Those are mountains. Yeah, making the twisty windy roads up this. So this must be the gap in the mountain. Yeah, it's sure is twisty. Boy, I was the only one on this road until I got to the end of the road. And just like anything on this road, there's a creek next to the road. So you would think, they usually have a gate. So this is where a gate was closed, because of the fort. Now it's open. It's called Mountain Longleaf Wildlife Refuge. So now we're in what was the old fort. So I guess they had this whole land. It was all federal land. Even though it was part of the fort. A lot of camping can be done out here. I can see several places where you have to sign in, to make sure you go off into campgrounds. No vehicles. You just have to hike and camp. So, but yeah, bet you there's some bears out here. Yeah, I'm going up elevation. My ears are have to pop. But yeah, this is a new experience. I lived in this area for so many years. My parents lived here for many years. This is an experience I've never had while we were living here. So yeah, it's there's a place where you can go camping. It's a dead end, so I guess Mormon Mountain Overlook. So yeah, it's a nice overlook you can go to. And downhill, strictly in forest. See, now we're coming on the other side of the hill, and straight ahead, that's Anniston and the fort. But yeah, this is all new, no strange. And that part of the fort I've always been around. I knew this road going up here. Never been up here. Of course, there's a place where there was a gate, and I guess this wildlife refuge, this gate there was there to, prevent people from coming up here. But now it's open. But yeah, this is it's just funny how things work. There's another place right there you can go and register and go camp. But it's funny how things work out. Just surreal. So now I think we're basically on the other side of the mountain. Everything's kind of flattened out, and now we're approaching areas that I'm getting familiar with. Yeah. I bet you, when they're training out here for the troops. Every once the troops had to go out, what they call field training. Now this was of course this was an MP school and a chemical school, but you still had to do field training. I assume, especially for the chemical school people. Yeah, now we're out of the wildlife refuge. So now we're back on the fort that I remember. So anyway, so slowly make my way back to Walmart. I appreciate you coming with me on this unexpected journey, and reflect on the areas that I used to hang out with. Man, it's just so surreal. I know I keep saying that, but you just don't realize what's going to happen. I turned 62 in a couple weeks, and I was out here 50 years ago because I was 12. Let's see, I think it was 12 because I was sixth grade. I came out here with sixth grade. Yeah, because 12, 13, and this is the area. I lived out here for 3 years. Some of the most fondest memories out here, living out here by Fort McClellan. It's just a shame that they closed it. So, anyway, approaching, going through the fort that I remember, and going to head towards Walmart and see what we can get in order. If not, I'll head home. See you in a little bit. Well, I made it home. I decided after that last clip that by the time I got to Walmart, it had been too late. I would have to start. I have to stop. If I'm in Anniston, I have to stop around 4 o'clock, and at this time of the year, because it gets dark really quick, and I don't do any kind of delivery at night. I did that one Walmart delivery, with all it acts like Amazon Flex, and that kind of the last 6 orders were in the dark. That was no fun. But interesting day, nostalgic day for me. Shocking, surreal. I know I say that a lot, but it's kind of hard to explain. But anyway, let's give a summary of the day. So I did 2 orders here, and then all shopping. I only do shopping now. I don't do any pickups. I'm done with pickups here. But when I have an early lunch and I go to Anniston, and strange, I only had 1 pickup. I did 4 trips out there. 3 of them were shopping. 1 was a pickup, and the pickup was, by the time I started, it was already packed and ready to go, and I got it within 15 minutes. So as far as earnings for today, confirmed earnings, I made $86.55. Unconfirmed tips is $35.69. So if I get those tips, I made over $100 today. So yeah, this was man, that was a long day, but memorable. I hope you enjoyed the trip and my long ramblings I did today. As far as summary, I do a detailed summary of the week with mileage and all that if you're a member of the club. So I urge you, if you want to see that type of content and other content I got there, I urge you to join the club. It's 99 cents a month if you join through the PC. Now if you're on Apple, unfortunately it's $1.49 a month because Apple wants their cut. But as of this recording, I had two summaries have gone out, and I've posted some pictures, and and also I discuss future plans, what I want to do. So yeah, but if you like this video, I urge you to select like, and if you like what I do with this channel, I urge you to subscribe to it to see my future misadventures, adventures, and ramblings of an old man. So I am not going to do anything tomorrow. I take Monday, now that I do this on Sundays. Sparkwise, I take the whole day off Monday. Need to recoup and do some work. So we're going to call it a day. I hope you enjoyed it. So with that in mind, we're going to call it. We'll talk to you later. Bye.